Okay, the Gemara says, Sefes Psachim and Daf Chav Beis, and in Bava Kama, the Malach, the Gemara has a machlokas. The Gemara says that Rabbi Shimon ben Amsuni, he darshaned every single S in the Torah. He went ahead and every time the word S was there, he would say that the word S is coming, L'Rabos, is coming to include something else. Like for example, in Parshas Vayera, the Torah says that Sarah didn't have children for a very long time. The pasuk says, Upakad Hashem es Sarah, that Hashem remembered Sarah and put his attention towards Sarah, and all of a sudden she became pregnant. So the word S is extra there. She could have just said Upakad Sarah. He remembered Sarah. Why did he have to say the word S? So he comes and includes that all the women of the time who were barren were able to have children. And he went through all the S in the entire Torah. There were over 2,600 of them in the Torah, and he darshaned what each one was coming to include, what it was coming to bring in related to the pasuk that it was in. Okay. He then got to the pasuk, Es Hashem Elokecha Tira, you should fear God, has the word S there. He says, what could that be coming to include? It's God. It can't be including anything else. To fear God, what else is similar? So he stopped. And the Gemara says that he went ahead and he pulled back his shita of darshaning all the S in all the words S in the Torah. He just couldn't do it. Comes from Rabbi Akiva, next generation, Rabbi Akiva says that no, the word S comes l'Rabos Talmidei Chachamim. That just like you have to fear, respect Hashem, so too you fear, respect Torah scholars. Okay, so the question is what is the disagreement, or what happened between Rabbi Shimon HaMsuni, who couldn't figure this out? He somehow figured out the other 2,000 plus words S, but this one he couldn't figure out, and Rabbi Akiva, he was able to. What's that about? So it's interesting, not side point, but interesting. Rav Kook has a Sfarim called Ma'amari Raya. Over there he writes that Rabbi Shimon HaMsuni lived at the time that Christianity started, and it was very much within the Jewish community. And therefore, to bring up an idea that you could respect a human being of flesh and blood like God, to make a human being to be similar to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was something that was a very dangerous type of a move at that time. Rabbi Akiva was a generation afterwards, and Rabbi Akiva read that Christianity was outside of the Jewish community, it was a separate thing, and therefore he was able to go ahead and bring up this drasha. Interesting historically. But I want to explain a different answer given by the Alter from Kelm, by his Talmud, Rabbi Yerucham Levavitz, the Mashgiach of the Mir Yeshiva. If you want to look this up, it's quoted in Das Chachma Musar, in the first Chelek, Maimer Samach Tes. And the Alter of Kelm explains as follows, but I want to introduce it with another idea of the Alter from Kelm that's brought in his own Sefer, Chachma Musar. If you want to look that up, Chelek Aleph, page 274. So there he says a very important idea, and in my mind this is really a critical, if not one of the most critical points, if anyone ever wants to become a great person. This is something that we have to try to bring into our lives. The Alter from Kelm said as follows. The pasuk says, you might hear this pasuk often throughout our lives. The pasuk says in Mishlei Perchav Beis pasuk Vav, Chanoch lenar al pi darko. Incorrectly translated as you should educate a nar, a child, al pi darko, based on his strengths. Some people are stronger in this area, some people are stronger in this area, this person is talented here, this person is talented there, and therefore chanoch al pi darko, you have to educate him based on his derech, on the way he is in existence, who he is, his essence. And people throw that around often because it's saying like, hey, I like this, so yeah, let me do this. I like this, let me do this. It's educate me based on who I am. Don't put me into a system. Don't put me into some organized type of educational institute. And there's some truth to that. Okay. But first of all, the word chanoch doesn't mean educate. That is incorrect. Rashi tells us in Parshas Lech Lecha, in Perek Yudal, Pasuk Yudalid, that chanoch means to inaugurate. That's why we have the idea of a Chanukas Habayis, inauguration of a house, Chanukas HaMishkan, Chinuch means to set a foundation, an inauguration at the start, for something to sprout later on. It's not to micromanage people or kids. It's to give them the tools in the beginning that they could then sprout on their own. Okay. The part of the pasuk that no one quotes, even the ones who know Chanocha Nara Pidarko by heart, they don't know there's another part of the pasuk. The next part of the pasuk says, Gam ki yazkin, when the person becomes zaken and becomes older. The first part is talking about a nar, a child. Gam ki yazkin, when the person, the child, gets older, lo yasur mimena, don't turn away from it. Okay, so let's read the first part of the pasuk. Chanoch l'nara pidarko inaugurates that the foundation for a child, pi his derech, the way that is set for him. Gam ki yazkin, also when he gets older, don't change from it. Don't change from what? So if you don't pay attention to the words, you would say, don't turn away from the derech. Don't turn away from the way that he's going. That's not the subject of the pasuk. The pasuk is talking to the educator. Make sure you inaugurate, you teach him, you give him his foundation based on who he is, and when he gets older, don't change from it. What's the subject? The chinuch. Says the Alter from Kelm that the Mishlei is coming to tell us, Shlomo Melech is coming to tell us that even when a person is older, don't stop from doing a chinuch. Don't stop from letting things be fresh, from being new, from setting up a foundation. Foundation is not some program in Aish Torah, and that's it. Foundation is something that stays with us for our entire lives. Every single day is the first day of the rest of our lives. Every single day is a fresh start with newness, passion, freshness. Every single day there has to be a chanoch, there has to be an inauguration. Gam ki yazkin, even when you get older. Lo yasur mimena. Don't stop from the chinuch. Don't stop from allowing it to be fresh and new. So where does that come out in a major way? Says the Alter from Kelm, again quoted from Yerucham Avavitz, he says as follows. Shimon ben Amsuni did something absolutely incredible. Nowadays there are many self-help books written based on what Shimon ben Amsuni said. They don't quote him. But they took his message. And that is, he had a lifelong goal. He was going through the entire Torah, and he noticed at a certain point in his life that the word S is extra. So it must be coming to include something. So comes Shimon ben Amsuni with tremendous toil and tremendous effort, starts working at over the 2,600 S's and explain how each one is coming to teach me something new. Finally, at the very end, I don't know, it's 2,633, I don't know what the number is. Okay, let's take a guess. So at 2,632, he got them all finished, and it was all worked up, it's going to be published, he's going to make a lot of money on the book, and all of a sudden, he gets to the last one, and says, you have to fear God. Ask, what's that coming to include? What can you include like God? That's impossible. Doesn't make sense. You know what? I guess I'm wrong. Let's do something brand new. Forget my book, put it away, shelve it, I'm not publishing it. That is a move that requires enormous amounts of strength, enormous amounts of humility, enormous amounts of the value of emes, of truth. It's not, what do you mean? A lot of people could just, you put it out, and first of all, no one would even know that you missed that one. And you could write, and for further explanation, see my next volume. There are ways of getting out of it. You have a lifelong goal, dream, message, and at the very end you see, wait a minute, I got to switch it up. Something's not right, and you're able to pivot, requires enormous amounts of strength, humility, and a drisha for emes. Einstein, I can't explain to you the whole thing. Maybe some people do here know this. Okay, the theory of relativity. He decided that the world was not expanding. He thought it was expanding, and then he thought it wasn't. So he had to take a constant to be able to push back the force to show why the world is not expanding. Then there was a guy named Hubble who figured out that the world was expanding and invited Einstein to come see his what he discovered. That it's against everything that Einstein said, and come visit, and you could see it. And he couldn't bring himself to go. He couldn't. And later on, he was model MS, and he said that I messed up. But he wasted many years of his life not being able to go and just see what this person discovered. Why? Because when you build up an entire world of goals and building yourself and developing yourself and investing in certain places and putting all your time and effort, and then all of a sudden you say, this isn't going. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this anymore. This business isn't working out. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours for the last few years developing this website. It's not going yet. Now let me change what I'm doing. That's a very, very, very hard thing to do once a person goes in there. Shimon ben Amsuni was able to do it. He had the humility. He had the Jewisha for emes. He was able to go ahead and change everything that he had done beforehand and say, you know what? I'm going to move on. Comes along Rabbi Akiva and says, whoa, I didn't think a human being could do that. I didn't think a human being could be so selfless, could be someone that's not about him, that's all about the truth of God. I never realized that a person could get to a level that he's just a conduit for bringing a Kadosh Baruch Hu into this world. I didn't get that someone could get to that level. Whoa! As Hashem Lokech Atira comes to be Marbe Talmidei Chachamim. Because a person that could learn the Torah in the right way, with the right values, with the right system of knowing how to make decisions, etc., that it's not about him at all. It's not like I'm respecting him because of his accomplishment. I'm respecting him because of what he represents, that he's just a tzinor, a conduit for bringing godliness into this world. That's a person that we want to go ahead and we want to be machabed, and the Torah is coming to be marba that. There was no real machlokes. It's just Rabbi Akiva had to experience the greatness of Shimon ben Amsuni, that he was able to see that there are people in this world that can try and act like God and not be about themselves, and that's the person that we want to go ahead and respect. So the lesson that we have over here is that we have to realize that, like I said before, every single day, every single moment is a beginning, is fresh. We have to learn with freshness. We have to have ideas with freshness. We have to enter our relationships with freshness and excitement and passion. Things can't become stale, and we have to do things sometimes to keep it alive. Just like if you had a class and you're involved with chinuch and you're trying to teach someone, you have to switch things up once in a while. You have to bring it alive. You have to make it fresh and new. Every single day of our lives have to be like that. People that live that way have a much stronger potential for high success. And what that brings with it is that maybe I should change what I was doing beforehand. Maybe I was on a certain direction and maybe I do have to pivot. It was a big thing. I spent years, I spent money on it. People invested in me. Yeah, but I see it's not the right thing. I have to go ahead and move it. Why do people not do this? So there are multiple reasons. We all struggle with things like this. Why is that? So part of it is a cognitive laziness. It's hard for us to switch. Things that I'm doing this, and I wake up in the morning, do the same thing tomorrow, and the same thing next day, and the same thing next day. Till at some point, something forces me to retire. But otherwise, just keep on going. Like, to think, have to put my head into thinking, is this the right way? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Is effort. So, by definition, many of us we have a certain laziness in our mind. The uncertainty, when you feel comfortable in our old ideas, we feel comfortable in keeping things just moving forward. It's uneasy to, what's going to happen now if I change, what's going to happen. That's uneasy to us. It's unpredictable. We don't like that. Human beings don't like, they like being everything, exactly what's going to happen. We're scared of the unpredictable. And we favor the comfort of conviction and knowledge, and for sure I know what's going to be tomorrow morning, over the discomfort of doubt. So our Yetzer Hara pushes us into an unhealthy place. Now, what's unhealthy? We're not doing anything unhealthy, but we're not living to our potential. We're not allowing ourselves to be great. If we are able to think and rethink what it is that we want to do and how we want to do it and what should we do, and allow us to pivot and make those moves, we'll see that Be'ezus Hashem will be able to be zocheh to hit very, very, very great places, because we weren't just stuck in the way that we were doing things for the last 20 years. We could change, we could pivot, and we could look for opportunities and jump at them and be much more successful than we would otherwise. So my bracha to all of us that we could recognize this. Everyone struggles with this. It's a human condition, but we're all able to recognize this and to always live every single day with a certain freshkeit, a newness, and inaugurate ourselves every single morning for a whole new day, and to always be evaluating and reevaluating what it is that we're doing, and be able to make those moves and pivots when we're called for, so that we could hit our greatest potential that we deserve. Have a great day.